What's up, everyone? And today we're doing a deck profile on my Spellbooks. Now, Spellbooks, I actually made a profile of it like I'd say a month ago I was recording, and I had to change it because Judgment got unbanned and that list only had one Judgment. Now the profile is even better. Yeah, having Judgment at 3 really helps out a lot with this deck. Basically because of cards like Spellbook of Eternity, we can cut out completely. Now we don't need it, and it makes the deck overall more consistent. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. First, I run 3 Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. Prophecy, when it's normal summoned or flipped face up, you can add a Spellbook spell card from your deck to your hand. That's it, it's a Spellbook searcher. Simple as that. I also run 3 Ecclesia. Yes, I do run the Dogmatica in this because I feel like Dogmatica is the way you have to run spellbooks. That way you have at least a follow-up, and it also gives you so many more options. Now, Ecclesia, if a monster spell summoned from the extra deck is on the field, you can spell summon this card from your hand. And if this card is normal spell summoned, you can add a Dogmatica card from your deck to your hand. Sadly, you can't search Nadir Servant with it because Nadir Servant is not a Dogmatica in name, which is a bit unfortunate. But we can still search out other stuff like Maximus or even the Punishment, which most of the times, the one I'm going to be searching out is the Punishment. Also run 1 copy of Maximus. You can banish the Fusion, Synchro, or Exposé and Link Material from your graveyard to spell summon this card from your hand. And during your main phase, you can send 2 monsters with different names from your extra deck to the graveyard. Also, if your opponent sends 2 monsters from your extra deck to the graveyard. So this is very useful. It can, in a way, kind of disrupt your opponent's plays, but also extend your own plays. So it's definitely a card that you really want to have. You can use it to send the Shadal stuff, to basically set up your Shadal plays. Of course, you'd have to have, one of these in the graveyard. So if you have Nadir Servant and you search, let's say, this off of the Nadir Servant, then you basically have all the plays you need. I run 1 Flu. During the main phase, if a monster spell summoned from the extra deck is on the field, you can spell summon this card from your hand. If you control another Dogmatic monster, you can negate the effect of 1 face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. So it's got like a kind of like an effect negation in the way. I more or less run it just because of the attack, because one thing with spellbooks, they are very good at stalling and sort of controlling the game, but in terms of like finishing the game, it's kind of where they struggle a bit more. So having something that's got a big attack that we can get out easily like Flu, that's pretty good. Now I run 2 copies of Jowgen. I notice most builds run 1, which honestly I would want to run 1 if I didn't have a habit of opening 1 in my hand. If you have 1 in your hand, then that essentially shuts down the whole play, because basically what you do with Jowgen is you summon it off of your Spellbook of Judgment. And if you open it, it's not going to happen because Spellbook of Judgment only summons from the deck. But Jowgen on its own is still pretty good. You can discard 1 random card from your hand to the graveyard to destroy all special summon monsters on the field. And neither player can special summon monsters. So going second, this card can just wipe your opponent's board. I also run 3 Ash Blossom for my hand trap. Moving on to the spells, which is the large majority of this deck, which Spellbook, so that kind of makes sense. I got 3 Spellbook of Judgment. Spellbook of Judgment is a really cool card because during the end phase of the turn this card is activated. You can add Spellbook spell cards from your deck to your hand up to the number of spell cards activated after this effect resolves. Then you can special summon 1 spellcaster monster whose level is less than the number, or less than or equal to the number of spells activated. So like say you activate 2 spells, that gets you into Jowgen. I run 3 Secrets. Secrets is your Spellbook searcher. Knowledge is your draw power by discarding a Spellbook or send to the graveyard 1 other spellcaster monster you control or Spellbook card from your hand to draw 2. Also run 3 Fate. Spellbook of Fate is like your disruption for spellbooks. You can banish up to 3 spellbooks from your graveyard and apply effects depending on the number of spellbooks you banish off this effect. 1, you can return 1 set spell trap on the field to the hand. 2, change 1 monster on the field to face down defense position or face up attack position. And 3, banish 1 card your opponent controls. So it's definitely good at basically keeping your Jowgen alive and furthering your own plays. Also run 2 copies of Wisdom. Some people don't run this. I mainly run this to help protect my Winda and my Jowgen, because like let's say your opponent has like Dark Ruler No More or Droplets or Infinite Permanence. This basically protects them from that, which is really cool. I run 1 Master, which basically is going to be like an additional copy of any of your spellbooks. Next, I run 3 Upstart. Just more good fodder for Judgment, 1 Called by the Grave. And lastly, 3 copies of Nadir Servant. Nadir Servant is pretty good. It can, so for cost, it sends one monster from your extra to the graveyard, which you definitely want to send either, basically you want to send the Opclone for the Opclone graveyard effect, and then you can add one Dogmatica or Fallen Valves from deck to your hand, which is definitely pretty good because so not only does it sets up your grave for the Shadal Schism, it also can get you into a Dogmatica card. Moving on to the traps, I run 3 punishments, all around good stun card, 3 Imperm and 3, or not 3 Imperm, 2 Imperm and 1 Schism. Schism is searchable off the Opclone, and you definitely want to have Schism because it gets you into Window, which can help basically run alongside the Jowgen, which Window is going to be a lot better version than Jowgen, so you definitely want to get that onto the field. Moving on to the extra deck, I run 1 Artemis, 1 Almirage, 1 Gardna, pretty generic cards that you'd run in spellbooks. I also run 1 Akashic Magician. It's a fairly decent spellcaster for spellbooks. Lana is good because it's light. Selene is good because it can help get you into access code. As far as fusions, I run 2 Winda, 1 Construct, and 1 Opclone. Opclone, when it's sent to the graveyard, you can send 1 Shadal Core or send 1 Shadal card from your deck to the graveyard. Or if it's sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Shadal card from your deck or graveyard to your hand, then discard 1 card. So I can basically get you into the Schism. I also run 1 Garua. When it's sent to the graveyard, draw a card, pretty solid. 2 Nates. If the Shadal option isn't online, then Nates is always a good option to fall back because this can essentially get 2 cards. Oh, actually I run 3 copies of Nates, not 2. Well, that's it for this deck profile. Let me know in the comments what do you think of Spellbooks. Think it's a pretty cool deck? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next video I make. Bye.